So you stated a few times that these discussions about supervision are not about remote supervision. What are you hoping to achieve?
So the discussions around supervision is essentially bringing everyone together to kind of look at how pharmacy operates at the moment and look at examples where things could potentially be improved. But I want to stress that we are not talking about remote supervision. And this was never the case. I mean, from my own perspective, the intention was never going in there and talking about remote supervision. I just want to make it clear that from our perspective, a pharmacy without a pharmacist is not a pharmacy, and that is, we firmly believe in that.
Why do you think so many people are focused on the aspect of remote supervision?
Okay, so I think historically, obviously, supervision has been around for a long time. And it's a very kind of emotive and controversial topic. And historically, there've been kind of people have heard bits and bobs from across when supervision was discussed. And as soon as you hear the topic of supervision, people start thinking about remote supervision. People start thinking now, well, the whole idea is to get the pharmacist out of the pharmacy and replace pharmacists with some sort of a robot. But we're not going into this, discussion to cook up some remote supervision thing, but it's more to bring everyone together from across the whole profession to look at how things are, because obviously pharmacies is constantly changing. I mean, post-pandemic, we are now being asked to do loads of clinical services and all of that. We want to make things easier, so look at examples where things could be made easier.
Can you think of any right now?
At the moment, off the top of my head, I can't really, but I mean, you would have situations where, for example, a patient comes and wants to collect their medicine, and the medicine is bagged up and all checked by the pharmacist on the shelf. But you won't be able to do that because the pharmacist is not on premises. So essentially, if you want to pop out and get your lunch, that functionality cannot happen. So kind of that flexibility, is not there. So that's just one example, and it's just the whole purpose is that looking at how things could be improved or so on, but also looking at hearing from others in terms of like what risks are there, and look at patient safety element of things. Are we doing things in regards to patient, making sure that patient safety is right highest on the agenda, that social care is right on top of our agenda.
So what's the timeline of enacting policy change? I know that you've formed a group, but it's still in the early stages and you still need to elect chair and secretary, right?
Yes. So the chair is an important bit, because the chair essentially kind of brings together the dynamic of the group. So it's very much important that we get the right person. So that stage is something that we are thinking very carefully about, and we are within the supervision task and finish group, the practice group, there's another smaller group where we kind of focus on making sure that we look at all the candidates and so on, and I'm part of that group too, so group within group. But yeah, so I think in terms of like timelines, it has to be a thorough process, but we're acutely aware that this topic has been going on for God knows how long, and we cannot just continue going on forever. There has to be something that, some resolution coming out of this. And so everyone agrees on that nobody wants for it to be lingering years and years again. And so, but I can't give you exactly what timeline that would be, because as I said, we want to have thorough discussions around this. And once the chair comes in, I'm sure they will set a pace into that in terms of like, how we prioritize things and we move forward. And that's what I'm hoping, that the chair comes in and puts a pace into, the discussions and robustness of it.
Is there anybody that you're hoping will chair?
I'm not going to mention names, but yeah, I have a favourite, yeah. And I have to say that I've seen the candidates, and so I've read through their profiles and Googled them, and like everybody else does, and reading intensively about them. So I have someone that I think would be a great person for this, and I'm hoping that others think the same way. But obviously it needs to be based on the consensus and so on. So
what kind of role do you think you're looking to play within these discussions?
Well, I'm bringing to the table the the views of my members, and but also I'm bringing to the table my experience as a pharmacist, because at the end of the day I'm a pharmacist to run through, and really care about my profession and the future of my profession, and so that's, you know, and I've been practicing pharmacy and still, you know, advise people on some matters related to pharmacy practice. So, and I've been myself like very much involved with patient safety elements of things in the past, and still am. So I bring that to the table, and I think it's important for everybody to be participating in these discussions, either through their representative body or separately. I mean, despite the fact that I'm representing my own members, but I will not shut my ears if someone wants to come to me and talk to me about things and you know, put across their points that I can bring to the table. It's important that everybody's views are heard, because this is very important for our sector and profession as a whole.